Yemen's Houthi rebel group attacks Abu Dhabi, SDMC to revise Chinese New Year SOPs, and Lee Zijia quits Badminton Association of Malaysia. Those are our headlines for tonight. Good evening, you're with me, Douglas Elliott, and this is TVS Nightline. Malaysia strongly condemns the attacks on Monday by the Houthis of Yemen targeting civilian areas and facilities in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. The Foreign Ministry in a statement said the attack has resulted in the loss of lives and injuries, adding that it is an act of aggression and those responsible should be held accountable.
Yemen's Houthi rebel group on Monday claimed responsibilities for a qualitative military operation that struck areas deep inside the UAE as part of the Saudi-led military coalition in Yemen. The Houthi claims appeared just after 3 petroleum tankers exploded in a fire near the storage facilities of Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, or ADNOC. A minor fire also broke out in the new construction area of Abu Dhabi International Airport. Initial investigation shows the fires and explosions were possibly caused by unidentified drones in the area.
Minister of Infrastructure and Port Development of Sarawak, Dato' Amar Douglas UGGAH is optimistic with his new ministerial post. UGGAH, who took over the portfolio from the late Tan Sri Dr. James Jemat Masing, said, with the Sarawak infrastructure development, the state is a step closer to becoming a developed state by 2030.
UGGAH also said the diligent efforts of the former minister and assistant ministers have contributed immensely towards the ministry at ensuring infrastructure development and port development are able to achieve its target under the 11th and 12th Malaysia Plan. The Deputy Chief Minister also stressed that he and his assistant ministers will resume and execute all projects as planned before.
Of course, we follow the planning yang telah kita jalankan, tapi for short-term focus is a focus on the project sakit, the number of project sakit that delayed. We will make sure that that will be solution will be found to make sure that it will be back on track.
He said this after the handing over ceremony for incoming Minister and Assistant Minister of Infrastructure and Port Development.
Meanwhile, Dato' Amar Douglas UGGAH also reminded his agency's officers that the people as well as the government had high expectations of the ministry, such as delivering all approved projects successfully within the scheduled time frame.
So we'll make sure that we will be able to play our part to ensure that whatever project that is given to us to be implemented on time. As I mentioned just now, it is very important not only to make sure that the infrastructure is completed, but it will also contribute to the economic growth of the state.
He said the federal and state government had allocated a sum of 48 billion ringgit for various infrastructure projects. Thus, it was absolutely important they were implemented efficiently and within the timeline.
The standard operating procedures for the upcoming Chinese New Year celebration will be revised. State Disaster Management Committee SDMC Chairman Dato' Amar Douglas UGGAH said the revision is to emulate the SOP issued by the National Unity Ministry.
Kita akan bincang. Saya dah menerima dari Datuk Seri Zosim, so probably this in a short while we're going to discuss sama ada kita menerima apa yang dipakai di Kuala Lumpur ataupun kita ada SOP kita. Memang sementara kita dah ada keluar SOP kita untuk Cina Tahun Baru. But there may be a need to revise in response to some of the public proposal.
Earlier Chinese New Year guidelines issued by Unit for Other Religions UNIFOR were approved by SDMC. Among others, the one-day celebration is only limited to close family members with capacity according to the size of the house. More information can be found on SDMC website. Similarly, SDMC is deliberating whether to lift the ban of lion dance performances during the CNY celebration. This comes as Sarawak Dragon Lion Dance and Wushu Association said the ban had caused disruptions for the associations across the state. It added that the lion and dragon dance performances are allowed in Sabah and Peninsular Malaysia during the celebration. Therefore, the association called upon SDMC to reconsider the ban, as it has financially affected the lion and dragon dance associations who are dependent on the celebration to perform.
As we roar into a prosperous, bountiful and joyful year of the tiger, the needy population is not forgotten as we usher into the Chinese New Year. Sarawak Social Welfare Department Mir Division, in collaboration with Dynasty Hotel, entered its 18 years of its annual tradition of giving back to the needy during the festive season.
Minister of Women, Family and Community Welfare Development, Dato Sri Fatimah Abdullah, said 100 attendees that attend the ceremony received cash amounting 100 ringgit each, besides hamper worth 150 ringgit.
100 orang dijemput hadir. 100 orang ini adalah penerima bantuan bulanan daripada Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat. Jadi pada bulan ini, klien Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat ini akan menerima 100 ringgit ekstra. Ini bagi yang menyambut perayaan Tahun Baru Cina. Dan di dalam rekod kita, yang merayakan Tahun Baru Cina dari kaum Cina terdapat 695 orang. Lapak kau tak goelang menerima bantuan bulanan, dan untuk perayaan Tahun Baru Cina 695 orang ini akan menerima 100 ringgit ekstra sama ada hari ini atau bagi yang tidak hadir hari ini, sebab hanya 100 orang yang dijemput hadir, yang lain akan menerima melalui akaun masing-masing.
On another note, the department had contributed a total of 268,050 ringgit to Chinese recipient at Miri Division in conjunction of this year Chinese New Year.
Bagi yang dijemput hadir hari ini, anda akan menerima goodies, Chinese New Year goodies pada hari ini daripada Dynasty Hotel yang nilainya adalah lebih daripada 100 ringgit. Cepat botak siapa? Atau ini saya correct dia. Sebab dia orang yang sediakan ya. Jadi 150 ringgit, ko kebab, ko ubi, ko macam-macam. Jadi bila balik nanti banyak lagi, banyak barang yang boleh dibawa balik selain daripada 100 ringgit.
Following complaints from the public regarding the heavy traffic congestion due to stalled road upgrading projects in Samarahan, the State Public Works Department has come up with interim measures to ease the situation. In a statement, JKR said it will bear responsibility for the maintenance work of the road.
JKR hoped that this measure would reduce the plight of road users and elevate the traffic jams in the area. According to the statement, the project, which began on October 2020, was initially scheduled for completion on January 14th this year. However, the project could be materialized on time. Following that, the contractor was officially issued a notice of default on January 13th, 2022. Additionally, the Ministry of Infrastructure and Port Development Sarawak will request assistance from the police to control traffic at the 5 roundabouts in Kota Samarahan. The department said that it will work round the clock to patch the potholes. However, it noted that the filled-up potholes could not last due to the rainy weather. Thus, it said that stretches of the road would be milled and laid with a new premix layer. Should they have any complaints, members of the public can channel it to the JKR Sarawak Road Care via WhatsApp as shown.
A motorcyclist was killed in a road accident at Kwang An Road in Cebu this morning. The accident occurred at 1:15 a.m., where the victim, identified as Sylvester Seli Ukol, was believed to have skidded and fell on the left side of the road.
The man was making his way to Cebu from Sungai Merah when he lost control of his machine and crashed. The impact of the crash caused the victim to suffer severe head injuries, and he was pronounced dead by paramedics summoned to the scene. Sarawak Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Department Chief Superintendent Alexan Nagachabu said the body has since been sent to the Cebu Hospital mortuary for further action. The case is being investigated under Section 41(1) of the Road Transport Act 1987.
And the public is called to lodge police report if they have information pertaining to fake vaccination certificates. Sarawak Police Commissioner Dato' Aidi Ismail said so far, no cases have been reported in the state. However, monitoring works are intensified.
Ramai kemak perlu lah. Kalau kita pun buat ataupun tingkat lemak juga, tapi setakat ni belum ada lagi. Tapi kalau ada orang ramai yang dah atau tahu tentang kegiatan ni, minta dia tolonglah hadir ke mana-mana balai polis ataupun berhubung dengan mana-mana polis untuk berikan maklumat tu.
He said this after contacted by TVS on Wednesday. To date, 7 individuals, including the owner of a private clinic in Gombak, Selangor, have been detained after being suspected to issue a fake COVID-19 vaccination certificate. The cases also involved medical centers in Terengganu, Johor and Kelantan.
Welcome back. In acknowledging the plight faced by students and B40 households in Laos to further their studies, an education bureau has been set up to ease the students' burden. A brainchild of Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali, the bureau provides early assistance for the students to purchase of airfares and for relocation.
Pendidikan. Dan tumpuan kita ialah untuk membantu pelajar-pelajar yang berjaya untuk melanjutkan pelajaran ke peringkat tinggi. Lebih lagi di kalangan keluarga daripada B40 ni, B40. Selalunya mereka ini untuk pelajaran untuk melanjutkan pelajaran mereka selalunya agak lambat ya.
In addition, assistance such as laptops are also provided to the students who need it.
Melalui pusat khidmat kita di Bukit Sari, kita juga memberi peruntukan untuk membantu pelajar-pelajar yang benar-benar perlu dibantu untuk mendapatkan laptop ini. Kita tak bagi cash pada mereka. Kita akan beli laptop itu dan ada Biro Pendidikan akan menyelidiki berdasarkan permohonan dan kita bagi laptop ini kepada mereka dan kita pun sudah sampaikan beberapa siri penyampaian sudah kita buat untuk pelajar-pelajar kita dan ini akan kita teruskan. Kita akan teruskan untuk membantu pelajar-pelajar kita yang benar-benar memerlukan bantuan ini.
Additionally, the state government under Gabungan Parti Sarawak, or GPS, has allocated 160 million ringgit to repair schools, teachers' accommodations, student hostels, and school halls in 67 schools in Limbang and Lawas.
Family reunion dinner and house-to-house visits are allowed for the Chinese New Year celebrations this year for other states except for Sarawak. And this was announced by Putrajaya for more relaxed standard operating procedures for the Chinese New Year celebration. The reunion dinner, scheduled to take place on January 31st, is allowed to involve as many relatives and members of the family.
Tidak dibenarkan rumah terbuka, no open house. Jadi apa yang dipersetujui oleh Jawatan Kuasa Kuartet dan juga oleh pihak Kementerian Kesihatan, jamuan tertutup Tahun Baru Cina ataupun kita panggil Chinese New Year Reception. Jamuan tertutup Tahun Baru Cina hanya dibenarkan kepada mereka yang mendapat jemputan saja. Kedua, tidak dibenarkan kepada orang awam yang tidak mendapat jemputan untuk hadir ke jamuan tertutup Tahun Baru Cina.
Chinese New Year receptions are allowed, but limited to invited guests only, with the number not exceeding 50% of the space capacity. National Unity Minister Datuk Halimah Muhammad Sadiq said open houses, however, were not allowed. Prayers at temples are also allowed on February 1st and 2nd in full compliance with the SOPs under Phase 4 of the National Recovery Plan. For the special night's prayer of Hokkien clan on February 8th and 9th and other religious activities were only allowed in the compound of the respective houses. The Chap Gomeh prayers at temples on February 15 are allowed in the accordance with the SOP.
Tourism is a social, cultural, and economic phenomenon that entails the movement of people to places outside their usual environment for personal or professional purposes. Tourism has to do with their activities, some of which involve tourism expenditure. The recent lift on the Enter Sarawak has garnered positive response from the industry players and sectors involved.
Such relaxation is a privilege that no longer restricted tourists from visiting Sarawak.
Okey, dengan kebebasan yang diberikan sekarang, ini kerana ini boleh meningkatkan ekonomi tempatan seperti pedagang macam saya ni. Jadi pelanggan boleh datang terus, tak ragu-ragu lagi, tak ada kebebanan untuk mengisi, terutamanya mereka dari Semenanjung nak masuk sini nak beli barang tradisional seperti yang saya ada ni. Dan walau bagaimanapun harus juga kita menjaga SOP lah, supaya kita jaga kita. Masing-masing ada tanggungjawab untuk menjaga kesihatan, keselamatan, supaya ekonomi lebih meningkat seperti sebelumnya COVID melanda.
Other than that, such a relaxation is one of the best decisions for the tourism industry.
Yang terbaiknya Sarawak telah membuka pintu kemasukan, especially daripada pelancongan daripada tanah Semenanjung ataupun dari orang daripada Semenanjung lah. Kita harap memang yang terbaik.
Once the tourism industry recover, this will follow with more job opportunity.
Okay, di antara kebaikannya mun si ada isi online pun form yang boleh menambahkan pelancong masuk dengan senang dan dapat juga membantu ekonomi para peniaga di Bumi Kenyalang tu dan memberi peluang pekerjaan kepada rakyat-rakyat Sarawak yang telah dibuang masa COVID-19.
For the record, SDMC made the decision comes into effect last Friday, January 14th. Non-Sarawakians travelling to the state from other parts of Malaysia no longer need to apply for entry via Enter Sarawak if they have not travelled abroad in the previous 14 days.
In sports development, a national shuttler and world number 7, Lee Jia has decided to quit the Badminton Association of Malaysia, BAM. The 2021 All England champion had tendered his resignation letter to the National Badminton Governing Body on January 11th. But the decision whether BAM will accept the resignation or not will only be announced on Friday.
And confirming the matter, BAM President Tan Sri Muhammad Norza Zakaria said that a series of meetings had been held with the national world champion since he handed in his resignation letter, but attempts to persuade him to stay came to no avail. It is understood that Lee Jia tendered his resignation as he couldn't cope with the pressure. On Monday, BAM had a council meeting to discuss the matter and have arrived at a decisive conclusion. However, it noted that there could be repercussions should BAM allow Jia to leave.
Thank you for staying with me. Now, golden sand of Peru's coastline turned black on Sunday after an oil spill affected kilometers of shoreline. According to the country's environment minister, the oil spill occurred while a ship was supplying the La Pampilla refinery, affecting at least 2 kilometers of the country's central coast.
While the Peruvian Agency for Environmental Assessment and Enforcement said it has begun an investigation to determine what caused the oil spill, some are blaming the recent high tides on the volcanic eruption in Tonga.
Viendo in situ que hay una grave afectación acá a la zona marino-costera. Inicialmente se reportó 2,5 kilómetros, pero ahora vemos de que ha afectado ya 2 playas, la playa Cabero y Bahía Blanca. Entonces, estamos viendo in situ de que efectivamente hay mucho material oleoso, incluso se ha impregnado.
2 people have reportedly drowned off a beach in Peru due to the massive waves felt in the aftermath of the eruption.
And in the world's first, Hong Kong has ordered a mass culling of hamsters in the island on Tuesday, sparking outrage of animal lovers after 11 hamsters tested positive for COVID-19. Authorities said a recent coronavirus cluster in humans traced to a pet shop worker prompted checks on hundreds of animals in the city.
In a similar move to China's zero COVID-19 policy, Hong Kong ordered 2,000 hamsters to be humanely put down and putting a ban on imports and sales. Various pet shops were closed and disinfected around the city, while healthcare workers in protective gear scoured the store at the heart of the cluster in the bustling Causeway Bay district.
當中咧就涉及咗78隻倉鼠、龍貓同埋兔仔。現時所得嘅結果咧，抽取嘅樣本之中咧，有11個樣本咧係呈呢個陽性初步嘅陽性反應嘅。全部嘅陽性反應嘅樣本咧都係抽取自呢個。
Hong Kong has also been testing other pets, such as rabbits and chinchillas, but only the hamsters were positive. Meanwhile, Hong Kong-based animal health experts said on Wednesday that COVID transmission from pets to humans in homes doesn't happen after hamsters from a pet shop in the city tested positive for the coronavirus.
And this is really, really different to the situation at home where people have pets. And we need to remember that millions of people around the world have been infected by SARS-CoV-2. Millions of people around the world have pets, and there have been no cases proven of pets transmitting infection to other humans. The same theoretical risk is there, but it just doesn't happen.
The local Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, SPCA, urged pet owners not to panic or abandon their pets after telling media they had received numerous inquiries from worried pet owners.
And that's all the time we have for Nightline. For the latest development, head to our website TVSTVMY or follow us on our social media. Once again, I'm Douglas Elliott. Thank you, and till then.